In this lesson, we're going to learn about another type of interest called compound interest. And so you can read it down here below that it's interest earned or paid on both the initial investment and previously earned interest. So there's two kinds of interest we've kind of talked about. And so one is simple interest and one is compound interest. So simple interest would be if you have an original amount of money. I'm going to use an investment example. If you have the original money that you invest and you're earning simple interest on it, what happens is that you'll earn a percentage of your interest every so often, right? So if we say it's every month, you're going to earn some percentage. And so when you earn that percentage, basically what happens is that you have a completely separate account and it says, all right, here's the interest that you're going to earn. We're going to add the interest into that account, that separate one, for month one. Okay, let me clean that up a little bit. Interest. Okay, then the second month hits, you're doing your, once again, based off the original, you would do the same amount if you haven't invested anymore. You have your interest from month two and so forth. Right? Essentially, if that original amount stays the same, these interest payments that you're getting would be all the same as well as you're going around the months. Obviously, if you adjust the amount, your original amount, then there would be an adjustment on your interest as well. Well, compound interest is a little bit different. It says here, let's take your original amount. And so the first month we add it into the same account. We're going to say, here's the interest from month one. All right, so we base it off of the original amount in order to find the interest from month one. To find the interest from month two, we look at the entire amount now and say, all right, now we're going to add the interest based off of the entire amount, including the interest from month one. So now that payment should be a little bit higher, right? Because now you're taking into account the original investment and the interest from month one. And then the third one would be if you took into account the original payment and both of the interest payments so far. And so you would say, now I'm going to add the interest for month three, right? And it keeps going like that. So eventually, right, you're earning more and more. These interest payments aren't the same like it was in simple interest because you're earning money based off of more money, right? So you're earning money based off of the interest. So some people like to say that compound interest, the difference is you're earning interest on your interest as well. Okay? Compound interest is something that you want to have if you're making money. It's absolutely something you'd prefer versus simple interest. We have this equation down here. This is one that would be given to you if you need it at any point in our class. But let's just talk about it quickly. It's something similar to the exponential growth formula, right? Except there's a very slight difference, and this is the n values. So we say our current amount, A, is equal to P, which is our principal amount, times 1 plus R, so that's our rate as a decimal, divided by N. So this is the difference. N is the number of compounding periods each year, and we'll talk about that as we get into it. All raised to the N, so same N value, times T is time in years. So let's look right into a problem and dissect this here, because a lot of it's going to be setting up your formula and just plugging it in your calculator. Determine the amount of an investment if 500 is invested. So here's our original amount, our principal, right, into a rate of 4.25. So remember, we move this to the left too. So our R value is 0.0425 as a decimal. Compounded quarterly, okay? Compounded quarterly means that it's going to compound 4 times a year. So we say that our N value would be equal to 4. Over 12 years, that would be T is equal to 12. So we can plug this into our formula. A is equal to our principal amount of 500 times 1 plus our R value of 0.0425 divided by 4, all raised to the N, which is still 4, same N value, times 12. We can plug this in exactly as it is into our calculators. So we could say 500 times 1 plus, and I'm going to put a fraction in there. We said 0.0425 divided by 4 raised to the 4 times 12. Please make sure you actually try this in your calculator. It's important to get the practice. We hit enter, And remember, when we're dealing with money, we always round to the nearest hundredth place. So the 0 gets rounded by the 8. So this is 830 and 41 cents. All right, so you made about $330. Let's try again. The original amount invested, so that's our P value, 300 at a rate of 6.75. So we bring that back. Since that's percent, we want to write it as a decimal, 0.0675. Compounded semi-annually, so good practice with this. Compounded semi-annually means it happens twice in the year, so we would say n is equal to 2. For 20 years, t is 20. So we can plug this all into our compound interest formula. A is equal to our original investment, 300, times 1 plus our R value of 0.0675 divided by n, all raised to the n times t. So again, you would have that formula. Your responsibility is knowing what each of those pieces mean, each variable means, okay? And then we plug it into our calculator. All right. So once again, please make sure you're getting the practice. Whoops. Let's make sure that we close the parentheses outside of the fraction, raised to the 2 times. Whoops. And we get $1,131, remember, to the nearest hundredth and 73 cents. 1131.71. 73, sorry. 1131.73. Okay, so we've made quite a lot of money over 20 years. If you think about 300 is what you invested, and you're getting $831 or almost $832 based off of that. So our money's done pretty well over 20 years. Let's try 2 more. Find the balance of an account after 7 years. So T is equal to 7. This time they just switched up the order a little bit. 700's deposit, that's our original amount. Paying 4.3% interest, so we bring that back 2 decimal places. So 0.043 is our R value. Compounded monthly. So you could maybe figure this out and say how many months in a year. That's an n value of 12. So we take our principal amount of 700. We multiply it by 1 plus our R value is 0.043 divided by our compounding period, which is 12. All raised to 12 times our time, which is 7. All right. So the setup, that's the hardest part, understanding where each piece goes. Then we go in and plug that in exactly into our calculator as we see it. Making sure that we're not making any mistakes, like my calculator that does not like to press all the time. 0.043 divided by 12. And this is all raised to the 12 times. We said 7 years. So we get $945.34. I think I just switched that up. $945.34. Okay. I want you to try this one. We'll warm up with this in class. Okay, but I want you to pause the video now. I want you to use the formula here. I'll leave you with this. You can look above as well in order to find the formula. But here's the formula for compound interest, and I want you to try this. You're going to have to think about what compounded annually might mean, or just in general, what does the word annually mean? Good luck.